Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. The regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Spring Independent School District is officially called to order on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025, and the time is now 7 o'clock p.m. Board of Trustees present are Trustee Hodges, Trustee Correa, Trustee Durant, Trustee Jensen, and Trustee Adams. I would like everyone to please turn off or silence your cell phones or any electronic devices. Thank you. At this time, Trustee Hodges will begin our meeting by reading the Spring ISD Equity Statement.
Thank you, Madam President. Spring Independent School District strongly believes in educational and racial equity as fundamental aspects of its core mission and purpose. Embodied through any program, practice, decision, or action that affects all students, with a strategic focus on those choices and policies that most strongly impact marginalized students. We believe all students, regardless of their ability, cognitive, physical, or socio-emotional, ethnicity, language, race, religion, gender, identity, and status, should have equitable access to opportunities, resources, support systems, and educational rigor in order to maximize their academic success and social emotional well-being. We believe every Spring Independent School District student is valuable and possesses individual strengths and characteristics that make our district a great place to learn and grow. Moreover, we seek to act on that belief, instituting policies and practices that value diversity, committing ourselves as a district to continued growth and development, and working to support the success of every student in all that we do.
Thank you, Trustee Hodges. At this time, I'd like to recognize Dr. Deborah Jensen for our flag pledges.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight's presentation of the colors will be led by the Carl Winchie Senior High School Honor Guard. The pledges will be led by Ajo Tunu. The Honor Guard member carrying the U.S. flag is Honor Guard Commander Madeline Ray. Carrying the Texas flag is Lauren Gadabeku. Left rifle is Angelina Madrid. Right rifle is Alia Perez. The Carl Winchie Senior High School Honor Guard is led by instructor Lakeithia M. Collins. At this time, would everyone please rise? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will recite the Texas Pledge.
Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may now be seated.
Order, arms, right face, forward, march, left, left, on guard, dismount, dismissed.
Our next item on tonight's agenda is our superintendent's remarks, and I'll now turn the meeting over to our superintendent of schools, Dr. Lapita Inahosa.
Thank you, Ms. Durant. I think we do have the PowerPoint ready. So just first of all, welcome everyone. It's always exciting for our board during these meetings to have so many people here and to be able to recognize our students, their families, and even our staff. So thank you all for being here. So just want to do a quick summary of what's been happening here in the district this past month. And you may have seen a lot of this information already on social media. So number one, if you haven't subscribed to all of our blogs, please do so. Our Spring ISD, we are putting out information of the happenings in the district, and you can subscribe to the blog. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere, we're out there. But first and foremost, wanted to just recap Spring ISD Superintendent Student Advisory Committee, along with two of our board members. Our board sponsor is Ms. Natasha McDaniel. I know she's not here today, but she sponsors this council, as well as Mr. Adams. We all had the opportunity to travel to Austin and advocate for public education. These incredible students that you see here in these pictures had the opportunity to meet with state lawmakers, discuss the issues that matter the most to them, and represent our voices from Spring ISD and of their peers as they spoke to state representatives, state senators, and their staff. They spoke passionately about what we need here in Spring ISD. And we're super proud. I know I saw one of our students that serves on the Superintendent Student Advisory as well as the board president's cohort. She snuck in from Spring High School. You want to stand like and be recognized? She was one of the students that traveled. You probably see her in one of these pictures. Also, went too fast. Want to recognize one of our scholarship winners. This is also from Winchie Senior High School. Colin King, who was recognized, recently awarded a $2,500 scholarship from KPRC. You probably watched him in the morning news. This scholarship is given to students who have demonstrated academic excellence, leadership, and a commitment to their future. And Colin is a perfect example of what hard work and dedication can achieve. So we congratulate him, his family, and of course, Winchie Senior High School for receiving this incredible honor. Also, moving on, March. March is Music in Our Schools Month. This is nationally recognized. And so it is a time to celebrate the power of music education and the impact it has on our students. From our choirs, marching bands, to our newly launched mariachi program at Spring High School, music is an essential part of our schools. It helps our students build confidence, express creativity, and develop skills that will last a lifetime. And we definitely want to take just a moment to thank our dedicated music educators for inspiring and shaping the next generation of musicians. If you have a chance, please make sure to attend. You know, in the spring, there's always lots of concerts. Our choir is out now competing, as well as our band programs, and of course, the mariachi program that you see here. And then, last but not least, we want to remember our Congressman Sylvester Turner. We're deeply saddened by the passing of our Congressman Sylvester Turner. He was a lifelong advocate for education and the community he served. From the time that he served as a state representative to his leadership as the mayor for the city of Houston, to now Congressman Turner, he worked tirelessly to uplift our students and families, ensuring his priority was that every single student receive a high-quality education and that students had the resources that they need. His legacy will continue to inspire us in Spring ISD and beyond. Our thoughts and condolences go out to his family, his friends, and all those who were touched by the incredible work that he led. And you see a couple of pictures here. Our board recognized him not too long ago because if you'll recall, Hurricane Beryl in July, well, he was out here in our community, out at Westfield High School, and helped to bring resources to our community. I mean, he was there passing those resources out and making the connections for Spring ISD. So our board and of course the district is eternally grateful for all of his work, and you know, his legacy will continue to live here in Spring ISD as well as in the city of Houston and Texas and across the country. Mr. Ant, thank you so much. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Dr.
You know what? Just
Forgot
making
something?
sure. Yes, look, we've got some dates. I forgot about the dates and optimization meeting, and I'm sure you've seen all the flyers going out. We are garnering your feedback on how we can optimize all of our resources here in Spring ISD. And one of the first meetings is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So you'll see the flyers. We have face-to-face meetings, online meetings, just ways that you can be involved and give us your input. This Saturday, we'll be having our Boys Empowerment Summit at Dekaney High School. We had our Girls Summit, was a great success, and now it's the boys' turn. You'll see also we have our Gifted and Talented Expo for the spring semester that's coming up. And look for us on Saturday, March 29th, at the end of the month. We will be out in our homes, in our community, meeting families, talking to students about attendance. Attendance is super important. It matters. It makes a difference in the success of students here in Spring ISD. So look for us in the community or look for phone calls. And just lots of great things happening in the district. You'll see all of this posted on our website. Now, Mr. Ant, that concludes
That concludes it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hinojosa, for those updates. And so at this portion of the meeting, I'd like to pause and see if any of my colleagues on the board have any remarks to make.
I would like to describe a wonderful activity that Trustee Winford Adams and Trustee Rhonda Newhouse and I got to participate in, which was the Governance Advocacy Conference in Galveston. And got some training that is unlike anything I've had before, and that is community outreach. And as I look out at the audience, I will tell you that I probably should be contacting every single one of you, that you are involved enough in your children's lives and other people's children's lives that you, after a hard day of work, showed up here tonight to celebrate them. And you are some of the most important people we can contact and be part of our advocacy program. So thank you for coming tonight.
Trustee Adams?
Just to piggyback on that, the theme of the conference in Galveston is student voice, and it's something that Trustee McDaniel is a big champion for, and that's what we experienced when we took those kids up to Austin. Their voices are very powerful. The legislators really take them seriously and really listen to them. And I know I sometimes wonder. It's part of my job is watching the Public Education Committee hearings. And I sometimes wonder if when people come and testify before those committees, whether it goes in one ear and out the other for those legislators. And I can tell you as a person sitting here, when you, the community, and particularly students, step up to that podium and speak, it absolutely gets serious consideration. So I want to encourage our community and particularly our students to continue to do that work of stepping out in leadership and speaking up for what the community needs.
Thank you, Trustee Adams. I want to just take a moment to also piggyback on, right now our legislators are in session. And as you know, there's a lot of opportunity and bills that impact public education. And so if you have an opportunity to reach out to your representatives so that our voices can be heard on how important it is that they continue to fund the future, the number one resource in this country, which is our kids. I also wanted to take a moment and thank Miss Deja Minor, who is with she's the Civic Engagement Coordinator in our Family and Community Engagement Department. She stepped up at the last minute and was able to schedule some meetings for our students that went up to Austin, and they had an opportunity to sit down with Representative Sophronia Thompson, Charles Cunningham, Charlene Johnson, Senator Hinojosa, as well as Senator Dutton. And so they had an opportunity to speak with some very key legislators. And so we want to continue to encourage our students' voices to be heard, as well as the parents' voices to be heard. And I wanted to take an opportunity to thank her for setting up those sessions for our kids to have an opportunity. And they went, as I understand it, very prepared, not just with questions, but they took them solutions along with those questions. And so that's what's always exciting. Trustee Correa?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of my colleagues. I too had the opportunity to go to Austin and advocate and spend some time with several representatives. And what's interesting is the little that a lot of these representatives really understand about education. These are the individuals that are making and passing these bills and making the rules for all of us. And in watching one of the committees for public education, they took testimony for almost 24 hours. And over 300 people signed up, and it was parents, it was students, it was the gambit of speakers. But what struck me is how powerful that testimony is. So call your legislators, call any legislator. The hopeful piece of some of those meetings that I had was that some of them were willing to listen. Actually, more of them were willing to listen than not. And so they need direction just as much as some of our students. And so reach out to the legislators, tell them your thoughts, tell them how you feel, because it really matters. And they really will listen. And this really is the future of public education in Texas. So please speak up at any opportunity that you can.
And you know what? I'm proud of my colleagues. We were elected by you to represent you. And our voices are being heard. We've gone to Austin and we're doing everything that we can to advocate for our kids, to make sure that they get what they deserve for a successful education and to become lifelong learners and successful adults. And so thank you, everybody, for that. Our next item this evening is an update from our board committees. And so first we want to do an update on our student governance cohort that our Vice President, Trustee McDaniel, who's out ill this evening, I believe Trustee Adams is going to provide her update.
Thank you, President Durant. So just some details. We took 36 students representing all 6 Spring ISD high schools. They spoke to a variety of representatives and senators. Dr. Hinojosa just listed off a bunch of them. We even ran into a representative for Representative John Rosenthal in the hall, and you'd be really proud of how the kids seized the opportunity to bend her ear as well and hand off some materials and make sure that she understood what their priorities were. These were not Spring ISD's priorities. They are closely aligned, but the students had their own priorities that they had developed and were prepared to talk about. So I think what I tried to get the kids to take away is, like, you can come and do this all the time. right? You don't just have to do it as a high school student, right? That the capital, Austin, is our capital. It belongs to us, and you have a duty, I believe, to go up and make sure your voices are heard. And I think the kids really absorbed that lesson. I want to thank Raise Your Hand Texas. For their support. They provided a nice lunch for the kids and were sort of a home base for us, so we had a place to sit down after we had toured the Capitol. And so I wanted to make sure to say thank you to Natalia at Raise Your Hand Texas for all the support that she provided. And that's the report.
Thank you, Trustee Adams. Our next cohort is the Board President's Leadership Cohort. And so I've put together a cohort for all of our presidents that are represented at our various high schools. We have the president from FFA, and they've been meeting with us. We have the 7 steps to successful leadership, and each board member has had an opportunity each month to pour into these students some of their experiences and some of the strengths that they've learned throughout their career on how to be a better leader. I want to thank Trustee Adams, who presented this evening on mindsets, positive mindsets for our students, and that cohort has been very successful. We're into step 4, so we've got 3 more to go, and the students will be wrapping up with the community service project that they will be presenting to the board in June. And so I'm really excited about that. Lack that stood up earlier, she's also on the board president's cohort. One of the requirements for participation is that they attend a board meeting. And so they've all been coming and spending time and seeing how this process works as well. And so it's very successful. I want to thank my colleagues for partnering with me on that initiative in pouring leadership skills into our students. Our next update is the audit committee meeting. We just met yesterday with the audit committee, and we have our internal auditor, Ms. Smith. I don't know if she's here. If she wants to stand up. She may not be here this evening. We just met yesterday, but we're moving forward with our audit plan. We're on track to successfully complete all of our initiatives that we have in place. Starting next week, she will be sending out the survey. So each year she surveys all of the various departments, the board, administration for their recommendations on what we want to audit from an internal perspective. And then based on the feedback from that survey, we establish our audit plan for next year. So if everybody can be looking for your surveys, that'll be coming out next week, so we can begin the process for the 25-26 audit plan. But currently we are on track and been very successful in all of our audit plans and initiatives. We have the Townsend organization who we hire to help audit our bond project. Normally we do it at the end of the bond, but this year we did something a little different where we engaged them at the beginning. And so they gave us an update in the audit committee yesterday, but they will be here at the April board meeting to provide an update for the entire body and the community as well. And that's the update for the audit committee. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the chair of our board governance committee, Trustee Kelly P. Hodges.
I think you want me to.
You going to cover it for him?
Right. We had some scheduling issues, and so I'm covering for Kelly for this.
No problem.
So we had 2 items in governance, and this is your first time hearing this, but I did talk to Trustee Jensen. 2 items. One, Update 124 is happening, and so the administration is distributing those policy updates from TASB to the different department heads and leadership team to make sure that the people that interact with the policies most directly are able to provide their input in whatever changes we might make. The other thing is that we have scheduled, I believe, to do our policy manual audit. So there's 2 days that are being set aside for the administration and consultants from TASB to go through our policy manual kind of with a fine-tooth comb and give us some advice on things that we need to update, things we might need to remove, things we need to add. So that's what's happening in governance.
Thank you, Trustee Adams. And then next, I'm going to recognize Dr. Deborah Jensen, who chairs our board data analysis committee.
Thank you, President Durant. We are closing down the data analysis committee because its function actually crosses over into other committees and other efforts, but I am giving you a year-end assessment of this. We have trustees, me, Natasha McDaniel, and Carmen Correa. And on Spring ISD, we had Dr. Hinosa and Dr. Matt Pariseau in on our committee. Our performance goal was to find data for oversight of Spring ISD performance through searches of factors associated with student success. So we were looking like, what is associated with a student being successful? Methodology, we were trying to select existing information. It could be qualitative or quantitative, but we didn't want to cause extra effort on the overworked administration that we have. And so anyway, what we found. My project was to find out why our Spring ISD Algebra 1 performance is low and what parts of the school district and what factors affect actual high performance in Algebra 1. I looked at school location, I looked at demographics, I looked at family income, I looked at student mobility, I looked at teacher mobility, but the place where I actually found a significant causality was in the average years of teaching at the school. And Dr. Pariseau took this on his own, and he could actually look at the Algebra 1 teachers. And Dr. Pariseau, would you like to add what you found?
Yes, so from the data analysis, we identified that our Algebra 1 teachers, there was definitely a difference based on the number of years of experience, and as the teacher had more experience, the student outcomes rose rather significantly. And we also looked at DOI teachers, or teachers that were just coming in. They may have had a degree in math, but not necessarily the pedagogy for education. And even there, we saw a discrepancy where those, even a 0-year teacher with the pedagogy, had greater outcomes.
Okay, and I just want to point out, we looked at location, demographics, income, and that sort of thing, and the most significant thing was the teacher. As a former teacher, and Mr. Adams was a former math teacher. Those experienced math teachers are just gold to us, that we just really value them, and they can be such a positive influence in our school district. I just have a few suggestions here that they can coach novice teachers. They can be on curriculum development teams. They could have videos of their model lessons. And they could also actually just make some suggestions here and there within the leadership. So we don't want their wonderfulness to just stay in a classroom. We would like them to spread it around. All right. Also, Natasha is not here tonight, but she took on equity, and she is actually the leader chair of the equity committee. And so she has been doing quite a bit with equitable instruction. And I just want to point out that in the equity statement, we say we support the success of every student in all that we do. And she is a passionate believer in that, and she's been doing wonderful work there. And another wonderful trustee is Carmen Correa, would you like to just describe?
Sure. So, and to add to Trustee McDaniel, one of her questions was the science of teaching and the outcomes that the students had with those teachers. And I think we came to the conclusion that those students have better outcomes when the teachers are experienced in that area. So one of the areas that I had kind of looked at, to Trustee Jensen's point about the income, one of the questions that I had was that there's different levels of economically disadvantaged definitions. And so that breakdown, how are the kids performing in those different income brackets? And not to focus on income, but what we found is that the kids who were getting free lunch actually performed better than the kids who were getting reduced lunch, which we found kind of interesting. But if you think about it, there's a lot of research that shows kids that are well fed actually perform better in school. And so that was kind of an area that we wanted to look at. The other piece, for me, things kind of diverged into the return on investment. Knowing where we're spending our dollars, making sure that we're efficient, and that has kind of morphed into the other committee that we have now, the committee of the whole, and looking at the budget deeply on a monthly basis until we get a really good grasp of where we're going and what we're doing. So, thank you.
I want to thank the whole committee and assure everybody that our passion and our interest in these areas has not quit with the end of this committee, and we will go forth.
Thank you, and I want to thank the committees as well, and for our attendance this evening. As board president, I put together and we identified some committees, and there's 3 board members on each committee, and so that's what you just heard was the update from our data analysis committee from last year. They did a fantastic job in diving into some areas where we thought, let's take a deep dive look into the data and see what we can learn and if there needs to be changes made. And so I want to thank you guys for that. All right. Our next item is probably my favorite part of the board meeting, and that is our recognitions, which is why I think a lot of you are here. And so at this time, I'd like to recognize our Chief of Communications, Shane Schubert.
Thank you, Madam President, trustees, Dr. Hinojosa, administration, audience. I'd first like to invite Ms. Cynthia Williams, our Director of CTE, to the podium. She has some special guests that she's going to introduce.
Okay.
Good evening, President Durant, Dr. Hinojosa, members of the board. I'm Cynthia Williams, CTE Director of our Career and Technical Education Department. Tonight, I would like to tell you about our Tri-Club Queens Court. The Spring Tri-Club pageant was open to female students in 3rd through 12th grade who live in the Spring ISD boundaries, and they were members in good standing in either the Spring ISD FFA, FCCLA, or Spring 4-H organization. As I introduce this year's Tri-Club Court, I would invite these young ladies to join me at the podium. We have our Spring Stock Show Fair Queen, Kaylee Cockrell. Our Junior Fair Queen, Elizabeth Anderson. And we have our Fair Princess, Ariana Sandria. These young ladies will share what participation in Tri-Club means to them. They'll share their future goals, and they're going to extend to you a special invitation for the Board of Trustees to attend the 74th Annual Spring Livestock Show and Fair, April 10th through the 12th.
Good evening. My name is Kylie Cockrell. I'm a senior at Winchie High School and a member of FFA and this year's Spring Livestock Show Fair Queen.
Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Anderson. I'm a sophomore and FFA officer at Winchie High School, and I'm this year's Junior Tri-Club Queen.
Hello, I am Ariana Sandria, in 8th grade at Robertson Middle School, and this year I am the Fair Princess of Spring Tri-Club.
Okay, so Ariana and Elizabeth will now pass these flyers. We are here today to talk to you about the 2025 Spring Livestock Show and Fair. The Spring Livestock Show, formerly known as Tri-Club, is an organization that promotes the development of skills in practical agriculture, as well as promotes the developmental skills in consumer science. It also promotes the expansion of leadership potential and citizenship through competitive achievement. The organization is composed of 4-H, FFA, and FCCLA. The Spring Livestock Show has provided students the opportunity to showcase skills and projects through competition for 74 years. It also provides the opportunity for students to receive scholarships. In fact, in the last 5 years, $61,450 in scholarships have been awarded to deserving seniors across the district. Last year, contributors brought in $145,105 through our live auction, silent auction, private sales, and add-ons. We would love to beat this number this year for our students. The flyers Elizabeth and Ariana passed out have more information about how you can get involved in this amazing organization. Also want to mention our honorees this year, Mr. and Mrs. Morrell, who have been a longtime supporter of the Spring Livestock Show. Our 2025 show is quickly approaching, and we would love to see you all there April 10th through 12th at the Nagy Pavilion. The address for the show is at the top of your handout, as well as the schedule of events. If you're able to make it out, please be sure to stop by the announcer stand and say hi. If you have any questions or if you would like more information, please feel free to reach out to Mrs. Musterman at Spring High School. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kylie.
I would also like to recognize the Spring Tri-Club pageant sponsor, Ms. Claudia Zimmer. Please stand. And we also have the Tri-Club president, Ms. Musterman. And of course, we would like to recognize our Tri-Club members and the parents of our court.
Please stay.
And we hope you all enjoy your reminder gifts with the date and everything of the Tri-Club show. So thank you.
Thank you. And we will be there.
Madam President, we don't always have royalty in the boardroom. Do you think mind coming forward for a photo with these young ladies? Ladies, y'all come up here for a photo? Bring your sponsors.
I'm moving slow, but I'm coming. You should have.
Can everybody get in a little bit tighter? All right. Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more. Three, two, one. All right. Thank you, ladies. Thanks, Cynthia. Great job.
Okay, moving on to our next recognition. Black History Month is a time to reflect on the powerful contributions African Americans have made throughout history and continue to make today. It is an opportunity to honor the resilience, creativity, and leadership that have shaped our communities and our nation. This year's theme, African Americans and Labor, highlights the impact of Black workers, leaders, and entrepreneurs in building and advancing our society. From the hands that laid the foundation of this country to the voices that have led the fight for workers' rights, African Americans have been at the heart of progress and change. One of the most inspiring parts of this Black History Month is seeing how our students engage with history through research, art, writing, and performance. Their work not only showcases their talent, but also deepens our collective understanding of the past and its connection to the present. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing students whose projects stood out this year at the Black History Month celebration. Their dedication and creativity truly embodied the spirit of learning and excellence. Before we begin calling all the names of our students, we want to recognize Mr. Samba Goddard, Social Studies Curriculum Specialist, for all that he has done to help organize this event. Let's give him a round of applause. Students, as I call your name, please come forward to be recognized. I have a few names here. All right. So first place in the art individual division. From McNabb Elementary in the pre-K2 category, second grader Jonathan Andre Carrillo. Jonathan, come on up here. There, Jonathan. Looking sharp. Awesome. Right here, buddy, right here. Right here. Looking good. Got some attention there. All right. From Robertson Middle School, 8th grader Abari Fatima. Is it Abira Fatima. Okay, moving on to the first place in the art group category. From an elementary pre-K2 category, from Thompson Elementary, the following students are being recognized. Amaris Guillen. Amaris, come on up, Amaris. Demarcus Robertson. Hai Bong. Right here, bud. Right here. All right, and those are from Thompson Elementary. Now moving on to the elementary 3rd through 5th grade category. From Winship Elementary, 5th grader Sky Porter. All right. And 5th grader Gabriana Garrett. Now moving on to the first place art group middle school category. From Spring Leadership Academy, Tristan Price, 8th grader. Natalie Rosales Munoz, 8th grader. Jocelyn Luis, 8th grade. Now moving on to the first place high school category. From Momentum High School, Navia Clark, 12th grader. Serenity Ledette, 11th grader. Asaya Barnes, 10th grader. Now moving on to the first place writing individual category. From Jenkins Elementary, Samaria Weary. From Beneke Elementary, Melvin Gutierrez. From Robertson Middle School, Tavin Hurley. And now moving on to the first place writing group category. From Thompson Elementary, Kai Gidry. And Kennedy Williams. All right. Did I miss any students that came in at the last minute? Anybody? Got them all? All right, great. At this time, I would like to invite any multicultural campus ambassadors to join us in the photo, along with Samba, to come on up. So, students, let's get over here. Oh, yeah, I think.
Jimena from Jenkins.
Jenkins, you might.
Where is it? Jimena from Jenkins. Jimena Sanchez from Jenkins.
Jimena Sanchez, okay. And one student we forgot is from Jenkins Elementary, Jimena Sanchez, in the first place art category. I did. And if there's any multicultural committee members that are here tonight, let's get you in the photo as well. Yes, I'm gonna move this out of the way so you can get. Everyone's gonna look at this big camera first, and then we'll move out of the way and get your parents in here, all right? Everyone look at this big camera first. This big camera right here. This one right here. This one right here. On the count of 3.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Now stay there. Let your parents get the photo. Thank you, guys.
Can the parents of our students that were just recognized, you stand up so we can recognize their parents?
Parents. All right, now we're moving on to our Spelling Bee champion. Tonight, we have the honor of celebrating one of Spring ISD's brightest young minds. Each year, the Spring ISD Spelling Bee brings together our top elementary and middle school spellers for a competition that is as much about perseverance and composure as it is about spelling. This year's event was nothing short of extraordinary. 34 Spring ISD students stepped up to the microphone, each determined to claim the title of district champion. Round after round, they amazed us with their skill and resilience. But as the competition stretched past the 2.5-hour mark, it became clear that this was a spelling showdown unlike anything we have ever seen in Spring ISD. 2 remarkable students, Mark Peterson of Bailey Middle School and Derek Espinal of Jenkins Elementary. When these two students went head to head for an astonishing 43 rounds, spelling over 300 words. Their battle was so intense that the judges ran out of words. Something that had never happened before in our district's history. A special runoff was held 2 weeks later, where these 2 exceptional spellers once again put their knowledge and focus to the test. And after a suspenseful final round, 1 student emerged as our champion. Tonight, we are proud to recognize Derek Espinal from Jenkins Elementary as our 2020-25 Spring ISD Spelling Bee champion. We also want to recognize Mark Peterson, who put on an outstanding performance and will serve as our district's alternate representative. Mark, your sportsmanship and determination were truly inspiring. Derek will represent Spring ISD at the 2025 Scripps Regional Spelling Bee, scheduled for March 22nd. So that's right around the corner. To both of these young scholars and to every student who participated in this year's competition, congratulations on your achievements. You have made us all very proud, and we can't wait to see what you can accomplish next. All right, let's get that photo. If their sponsors are here, would you come up? Sponsors, any of the sponsors? All right.
All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Congratulations. Okay. If the parents are here, will the parents please rise and stand to be recognized? Parents? All right. Congratulations. All right. That was awesome. Okay. Tonight we have the distinct honor of recognizing one of, hold on a second. Okay, tonight we are honored to share some exciting news about a prestigious recognition awarded to a select group of schools in our district. Each year, Children at Risk, a nonprofit research and advocacy organization, evaluates schools across Texas based on academic achievement, student growth, and college and career readiness. Schools that demonstrate exceptional performance earn the Gold Ribbon designation, a mark of excellence that signifies their commitment to student success. To receive this distinction, schools must meet rigorous criteria. Gold Ribbon schools are open enrollment campuses that serve a significant population of students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. Despite these challenges, these schools have demonstrated strong academic growth, high achievement, and a commitment to preparing students for success beyond the classroom. Earning this recognition is a tremendous honor. It reflects the dedication of our teachers, administrators, and staff who work tirelessly to provide a high-quality education for every student. It also speaks to resilience, determination, and hard work of our students who continue to rise to high expectations and achieve remarkable outcomes. This year, we are proud to announce that 3 Spring ISD schools have achieved the Gold Ribbon Award from Children at Risk. The first school we'll call up tonight is Spring Leadership Academy, under the leadership of Dr. Kevin Banks. Kevin Banks.
Bring the staff with them. That's right.
All right, got some students. Great. Awesome. Our next campus is Robertson Middle School, led by Principal Cecilia Brumsey.
All right, Robinson. I know we're bringing students.
All right.
Congratulations. Robinson students. Congratulations.
And our third campus is Carl Winchie Senior High School, led by Dr. Alfred James. All right, guys. Get out of the way. Okay, everybody, this camera right here.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. Now moving on to our final recognition. Tonight we have the distinct honor of recognizing one of our very own spring leaders for an outstanding achievement. The Texas Caucus of Black School Board Members, TCB-SBM, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to advocating for quality education for African Americans in Texas. Their mission encompasses providing a forum for unique issues faced by African American school board members and students, serving as an advisory board on matters of concern, promoting better relationships between African American school board members and their communities, and actively participating in state and national dialogues on educational problems and concerns. Each year, this organization honors exceptional leaders who have demonstrated unwavering dedication to educational equity and impactful service within their school communities. This year, we are immensely proud to announce that our very own Miss Kimberly Doucette, principal of DeWitt Middle School, has been recognized as the Texas Administrator of the Year for TCB-SBM. Let's give her a round of applause and call her up. I have a little bit more here. In recognition of her exemplary leadership, Ms. Doucette was honored on March 14th at the ceremony held at the Kalahari Resort. Along with the prestigious title, she received a $1,000 award and a complimentary trip to the resort for her family and her family during spring break. Ms. Doucette is a dedicated educational leader with 18 years of experience, including 14 years in Spring ISD. She began as a teacher at Clowton Middle School and has since served in various leadership roles, including Director of Secondary Social Studies, Workforce Development Specialist, and Assistant Principal. Now, as the principal of DeWitt Middle School, she has led efforts that have significantly improved student achievement, particularly for emergent bilingual students, and has championed instructional innovation. Ms. Doucette's leadership has been recognized with awards such as Spring ISD's Leadership Award and Rookie Principal of the Year. She holds a master's degree in curriculum and instruction and is currently pursuing a doctorate in educational leadership at Sam Houston State University. Her passion for equity, excellence, and student success continues to inspire those around her. Please join me once again in congratulating Ms. Doucette on this well-deserved honor.
All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh, your family is here?
There we go. All right. Jordan, what do you think? You got it?
Yeah, all right. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Well, good evening. I'll keep it very brief. I gave kind of extensive speech at the reception this past Friday, but I couldn't do any of the work that I'm able to do and I get to do every day without my staff and the students and community of DeWitt Middle School and the support of Spring ISD. Like Shane said, I've had 14 years here in Spring, so I am homegrown, but I've just been able to see the growth and opportunities here in Spring, and I'm just excited in the direction that we're going and our continued fight for equity and support for public education. Thank you, board, for all the work that you do. I know it is a thankless job sometimes, but we appreciate you being in the fight with us and being in the work and the support that you give to us here in Spring and especially at the schools. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get started again. Thank you. All right, everybody. Our next item is agenda participation. This item allows members of the public an opportunity to speak to agenda items before those items are considered by the board. Ms. Kinnerman, do we have anyone registered to speak under agenda participation?
We do not for agenda participation.
Thank you. Our next item is public participation. Ms. Kinnerman, do we have anyone registered to speak under public participation?
We do tonight. We have one speaker, Miss Lacey Curry. If she will start coming up, I'll go ahead and get into the board's rules related to public speaking. The board invites interested citizens to address the board on any subject that they desire other than allegations concerning the character or capability of a board member, staff member, citizen, or student of the district. The board provides an opportunity on the agenda for citizens to address the board, and we welcome your participation. The board will listen and will not interrupt unless the person addressing the board infringes on the guidelines as stated previously or exceeds the time limit authorized for the presentation. In this case, you will have 3 minutes to present. Mr. Sheffer, the time will be kept on the clock in front of us, and that's displayed on the monitors. According to law, the board may not take action on the item that is not on the agenda about which you're speaking this evening. The board will not debate nor respond to any question during the meeting in order to research the question thoroughly before replying. The board will seriously consider the matter brought to its attention and respond appropriately. Also, according to law, it's a criminal offense for a person to obstruct, prevent, interfere with, or disrupt a lawfully called meeting through physical action or verbal utterance. Citizens are requested to supplement any oral address to the board with a written summary of their presentation and any recommendations they may wish to suggest. Thank you for your concern regarding our school district, and we will now hear you.
Good evening. I'm Lacey Curry. I am a PE teacher at Marshall Elementary. I'm a concerned employee, parent, and community member. I've worked at Marshall for the past 11 of my 23 years of teaching. I love, and I am very involved in my school, my community, North Hill Estates, and my church, North Central, all of which are located in the Spring School District. I have a Spring Lion varsity baseball player who's a sophomore at Winchie, and they're up 8-2 right now, and a 5th grader at Marshall Elementary. My 5th grader was recently notified that he will not have the opportunity to attend the school of his choice next year. As a dedicated employee of Spring ISD, I feel that children of district employees should be given top priority in any school of their choice as long as they meet the basic qualifications such as good behavior, good attendance, academic achievement, not related to standardized testing, parental involvement, good recommendations, etc. My older son attended Twin Creeks Middle School, where we are zoned, and I feel he had an excellent experience, and Dr. King does an amazing job there. So the issue is not that other schools are inferior, but simply that employee preference should be a top consideration. It is a challenge these days to find anyone to fill classrooms, much less certified, highly qualified, experienced, hardworking, dedicated, loyal community members who want their children here. Districts such as Tomball, Klein, Humble, and others prioritize employees' children when it comes to school choice decisions. I know many amazing teachers who have left and joined those districts for this reason alone. Uncertainty and concern for our own children as parents shouldn't be the reason to lose faithful members of our Spring ISD employee family. As my son heads into middle school, I should be able to move forward in my position with confidence, knowing that he will be able to choose attend whatever high school we think is best for him. I should not be forced to consider options like selling my house or looking for a new job if we think that is necessary. By creating and implementing this policy at Spring, many dedicated and loyal employees would have the confidence that Spring ISD cares about its employees and their families, and that their service to this district is valued. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curry. President Durant, that is all for public participation this evening.
For our next item, I'd like to introduce our Chief of Human Resources and Services, Dr. Terrell King.
Good evening, President Durant, Superintendent Hinojosa, members of the board, senior leadership team, and guests. This item tonight is a reminder of, well, we discussed at the work session before spring break. We have two components of this item. The first is an increase in the wage for our student workers who are employed by the district working on their CTE pathways, increasing their hourly rate from $7.25 an hour to $10 an hour. And then the second component is the Achieve Incentive, which we discussed at the work session. And the recommendation for the Achieve Incentive is Model B.
Thank you, Dr. King. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the modifications to the compensation plan for the 2024-2025 school year to include an increase to the supplemental pay rate for career prep student workers from $7.25 per hour to $10 per hour, and the addition of Achievement Incentive Model B to the 2024-2025 compensation plan.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion on the floor from trustee Adams that has been seconded by trustee Correa. Is there any discussion? We did discuss this item in detail at our work session the Thursday prior to spring break. Dr. King, did you have any additional comments?
I was just going to say thank you after y'all voted.
Okay. I know, okay. Not hearing any discussion, I'm gonna.
I did. I wanted to know if it'd be possible for us to look at increasing this in the future from 10, because when we were talking about it on a couple weeks ago, I noticed, or I did a little search to see what the pay rates were at some of the local restaurants and things in our area, and we're still not close. Like Starbucks is $12-13, Chick-fil-A $12 or $13. So I think we may need to look at prioritizing that if we want to, keep our students, here in the district working. Just an observation that I made.
Thank you, trustee Hodges, and I would agree with that as well. So perhaps we can move forward with the administration's recommendation tonight, and then in our budget conversations that are coming up for next school year, consider bringing that forward as one of your recommendations, trustee Hodges. Okay. Okay. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. King. For our next item, I'd like to recognize our Chief Financial Officer, Ann Westbrooks.
Good evening, President Durant, Dr. Hinojosa, and members of the board. There is a copy of the EduCentric contract on page 27 of your binders. Prior to the spring break, we brought forward to the board for discussion a conflict of interest that had come to the district's attention subsequent to engaging with EduCentric, and we're seeking the board's decision this evening based upon the information that was presented earlier in the month.
I'd just like to remind the board that we did discuss this earlier in closed session. We do have a conflict of interest with an employee that works in the district that is a part of this company. And that's why the administration is bringing it back to us for our final decision. There is an option 1 and option 2 listed in your binders this evening. And so I will go ahead and entertain a motion at this time.
Madam President, I move to immediately terminate the district's agreement with EduCentric for convenience and further authorize the superintendent and or her designee to provide any and all required notices of this board's action to terminate the agreement.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Hodges and seconded by trustee Adams that we move to immediately terminate the district's agreement with EduCentric for convenience and further authorization to the superintendent and or her designee to provide any and all required notices to the board's actions to terminate that agreement. Is there any discussion?
I just wondered if somebody from EduCentric might address the board during the agenda participation. I see no one did, so.
Thank you for that observation, Trustee Adams. Trustee Correa?
My only question was this under SB 1882? No.
No, 1882 is related to charter school relationships with ISDs.
Okay. Okay.
Lightson, did you have any? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Our next item is our consent agenda, and so at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve and adopt all of the items listed on tonight's consent agenda.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve and adopt all of the items listed on the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Jensen and seconded by Trustee Correa that the Board of Trustees approve and adopt all the items listed on tonight's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously. The Board of Trustees will now recess this open session. We will not convene in a closed meeting this evening. So we will now be recessing tonight's meeting, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
Madam President, I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting of the Spring ISD Board of Trustees.
I would second that motion.
It's been moved by Trustee Hazard and seconded by Trustee Jensen to adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That motion carries unanimously, and tonight's meeting adjourns at 8:27 p.m. Thank you, everybody.